Tribe. Welcome to All Things Conscious Podcast. This is a sacred space where we explore the journey of spiritual growth, collective healing, and living consciously in a world that often tries to rattle us. I'm your host, Shauna Romke. Hey Soul Tribe, I have a great show for you today. The title is, Are We God or Genetically Modified by Aliens or Both? So if this is right up your alley, you are my people. This is where I really wish I had a co-host to bounce off of because we would have crazy conversation. So let's get started because I really want to get into it. So you probably heard the phrase before, especially in spiritual communities, we are God experience in itself. It's a beautiful idea. I believe there is deep truth in it. That we're not just created by God, but that we are God, fragmented to infinite forms to experience itself through different lives, personalities, and realities. But here's where I wanted to stretch that a bit, or maybe ground it even more. Because while I love the spiritual perspective, and I do believe in it, I also resonate deeply with another theory. One that's not quite so mystical, but just as mind-blowing. And that's the idea that humans were genetically modified or even created by extraterrestrial beings. I know, that sounds wild, right? But let's be real. How do we jump from primitive caveman, banging rocks together, to self-aware beings capable of art, music, spirituality, and technology? Mainstream science calls it evolution, but there are gaps, big ones. And when we look at ancient culture, the Dogon people of Mali, the Sumerians, the Egyptians, they all tell similar stories, not metaphors. Stories of real beings from the stars who came to Earth, gave knowledge, altered DNA, and taught humanity how to live. My dog is trying to get in on the conversation. Okay, let's explore this deeper. The Dogon people with no access to telescopes or modern astrology somehow knew about the Sirius star system. Not just Sirius A, the bright star we can all see in the sky, but Sirius B. A white dwarf companion star that's completely invisible to the naked eye. Western science didn't even confirm it until 1970. But the Dogon had mapped it for generations. How? According to their oral history, that knowledge was given to them by the Nomo, amphibious, otherworldly beings who came from Sirius. They didn't just drop off a message. They shared cosmology, mathematics, and spiritual teaching. And they're not the only ones. The Sumerians wrote about the Anunnaki, gods from the sky who created humanity to serve them. The Egyptians had Thoth, Ra, Osiris, said to descend from the heavens with great power and wisdom. The Maya, the Inca, the Aboriginals, all have stories of star beings arriving with divine knowledge. So here's the question. What if these weren't myths? What if they're memories? And here's the even bigger question. What if these beings were also God? Maybe they weren't separate from the divine, but expressions of it, just more evolved spiritually, technologically, and cosmically. We tend to separate the mystical from the mechanical, but what if they're part of the same equation? Maybe we are God experiencing itself, but part of that experience includes intervention, acceleration, awakening, even by forces beyond our earth. And maybe that's not a contradiction. It means our awakening isn't just some new age fantasy that some people like to make it. It's literally encoded in our DNA. I know this because I've lived it. I've experienced trauma, childhood wounds, abandonment, especially during cancer, illness, pain, survival, but I've also experienced activation, remembering not with my brain, but with my frequency. And I truly believe we are asking to remember now who we are, where we come from, and what we're here to do. We're not just healing personal wounds, we're awakening ancient codes. We're not just human, we are divine, we are cosmic. We are part of something far, far bigger. So whether you believe in God, aliens, soul contracts, or all the above, I hope you walk away from this episode with one simple truth. You are more powerful and more sacred than you've been led to believe. And now is the time to remember. I'm sending you love, light, and healing, Shauna.